Hey guys, this is Jennifer Han. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This channel is documenting my 100-pound weight loss journey. So yesterday I weighed in at 235.1 pounds. This morning I weighed in at 235 even. So I've lost 0.1 pounds for the day. So the scale is still slowly going down every day, so I'm happy with that. Yesterday I had 1,605 calories and 190 grams of protein. So we're still on track with our calories and protein goals. And today I think I wanted to talk about my diet that I'm following now and other diets that I tried in the past and that I failed or they failed me, however you want to look at it. So right now I have what I consider a non-restrictive diet. So I just make sure I stay in a calorie deficit and I have a certain protein goal that I'm going to hit. But other than that, I don't limit anything else. I don't track my fat. I don't track carbs. I don't limit carbs. I know that's a big thing nowadays, but I don't limit carbs. Every day I have some sort of carb, just depending on how the day goes, potatoes, rice, whatever. But in the past, I've honestly been on diets since I was 4 years old. I remember being at a babysitter's house when I was 4 years old, and like I said, I've always been overweight ever since I was a kid. I mean, I've seen pictures of me just a little bit over a year old, and I was obviously overweight, but I remember at 4 years old in particular, I was at my babysitter's house, and she was the first person that ever told me that I needed to go on a diet. My babysitter, actually, which, inappropriate or not, like, I'm not dwelling on it, but looking back on it now, I think it's funny. It wasn't my parents or a doctor or whatever that told me I should go on a diet. It was my babysitter, and that was back in like 94, 95, so Atkins was a pretty big thing back then. So I remember her saying like, oh, well, you just need to like stop eating bread and stop eating crackers and chips and like snacky stuff, and you just need to eat X, Y, and Z. And I remember, for whatever reason, us eating like imitation crab meat with like this like 0-calorie spray butter stuff. Like I don't know, that is something that just sticks in my mind. But yeah, she was the first one that told me that I needed to go on a diet. But basically, I remember growing up and just a lot of the big thing was if you have a hamburger, just don't have it with a bun and different things of that nature, which that's fine dandy, like that's going to be cut in calories in a certain way, but then other things weren't getting managed. Like in my house, like vegetables were still being cooked, which are healthy, but then it was like slathered in butter, so really not that healthy. Just different things like that, which I'm not blaming like my parents or anything. We didn't even have internet growing up, so it's not like that nutrition information was available widely like it is nowadays. But once I got older, I started figuring things out. How old was I? Probably 12 or 13. I started doing Weight Watchers, and I did lose a considerable amount of weight with that. I went to like Weight Watchers meetings with my aunt, and here I was, a 12 or 13-year-old girls in there with a bunch of 60-year-old ladies, but it was fine. I did lose a considerable amount of weight, but now, like going back and reviewing, because I remember like what I ate during that time, and I was eating just around 1,000 calories. So even when I was on Weight Watchers and lost a considerable amount of weight, I was still under eating a lot. So obviously that wasn't sustainable. Cravings were out of control and things like that. And then when I was 14, I became vegetarian, but I ate like crap on a vegetarian diet. It was mainly just all carbs and all fat and no protein. But I was actually vegetarian for 7 years. I was vegetarian until I turned 21. I was 21, I started introducing meat back into my diet. And then I was still fairly young. I was probably 22 or 23. I bought like this diet book that was based on like the Biggest Loser show, and I followed that. But even in that, man, if I really look hard enough, I might still have that book somewhere, because in that book, it recommended that I started out, I believe, at 1,400 calories, and then I would go down as low as 1,000. So even then, again, severely under eating for somebody of my size. Which, yeah, the weight fell off quickly. But when I was only eating, in between 1,000 and 1,200 calories a day, and back then I was going to the gym every day, obviously, burnout again. And later on in life, I did like a paleo diet, had some success with that, but that became toxic in its own way, because it's like paleo, it's basically just eating primarily whole foods, which is honestly what I kind of do now, but it's like there was kind of a stigma in the paleo community at the time that, like, if you have like anything processed, I'm talking like a protein bar, protein shake, whatever, like, that was poison, that was toxic, and you failed. Like, it didn't matter if you were losing weight or not. If you ate anything that was processed, you failed. So that didn't work out. Later on in life, I went through keto and carnivore phase. Keto, did okay with it, but it was like with keto, once all the water weight fell off, I just plateaued. I did not lose any more weight, but I wasn't tracking calories. So if I wasn't losing weight, that means I was eating at maintenance calories, and I just wasn't losing any weight. With carnivore, I would lose a lot of weight with carnivore, but honestly, it's because I was so nauseous on carnivore all the time, probably from the high fat is what I'm assuming. But people in the carnivore community, they say, "Oh, that might last a couple of weeks." Mine wasn't a couple of weeks, mine was a couple of months. But when you feel like crap every day for a couple of months, couldn't do it anymore. So before my mom passed away and I was like in the best shape of my adult life, I'm eating exactly how I'm eating now. So it was just what I consider non-restrictive. Like I said, I'm in a calorie deficit and I have a protein goal I'm going to hit. But other than that, none of that matters. As long as I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm happy with this way of eating. I don't feel deprived. I'm satisfied every day. And this is something that's sustainable. I think the whole thing of like just not demonizing foods is really helping me, because it's like losing weight is hard enough, right? Like, you do have to change your lifestyle. You do have to make sacrifices, per se. You have to, tell your friends you can't, do X, Y, and Z with them. You can't go out and like party with them like you used to, which I'm too old to party anyway, but you can't go out and do certain things with them because you've made a commitment to yourself to this lifestyle change. So it's just, everything's different. So that in itself, that's hard enough. But then when you start adding in like, demonizing foods such as something as simple as a protein bar or rice or something that's, it's all food. It's all giving us energy for our bodies. And for somebody to say, "Oh, that's bad, that's going to lead to this ailment, this illness, whatever." It's too much. So, do whatever works for you. But honestly, with me, just keeping it as simple as possible and eliminating all of like the dogmatic psychological thoughts behind dieting, that's what's most beneficial for me. So like I said, if veganism, keto, carnivore, whatever, if any of that works for you, that's fine. Like, your body will tell you, if these diets are working for you or not. But if you feel sick every day, don't do it. Find something else. And that's what happened with me on each one of those diets. So really with me, just 500 calorie deficit a day, 140 grams of protein. That's all I'm aiming for. That's all I need. And I'm having success. That should wrap it up for the day. Just a quick little video. I just wanted to, tell you guys there is a lot of stigma and a lot of demonizing of certain foods. You don't need to listen to the noise. Like, a calorie deficit is a calorie deficit. Keep it simple. Hold yourself accountable to your calorie deficit. Move your body as much as you can, and you'll have results. But other than that, thank you guys for tuning in again. And if you're new, welcome. Like I said, my name's Jennifer Hand. This is my journey to lose 100 pounds. And please remember to like the video and subscribe to this channel. We do have Bonnie with us today. Come here, Bon. Oh, good. Grumpy old lady. Say hi to everybody, Bon. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.